Is your career on track or are you going nowhere? Do you know what's next for you and will you make the right move? Make better career decisions using Carol, our AI-powered career coach, and enjoy a richer life and happier career. Click on the link now for your free career report and start living the life you deserve.
Good morning, everyone, and once again, welcome to our Career Success Show with Adrian and Ian. Good morning. How are you today, Ian?
Good morning. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. It's Friday.
One more week to the end of the first half of the year.
Holy cow. It is. Yes, school starts next week, everyone. For those in mainstream schools. Oh no, early mornings are back.
Oh yeah, man. The worst thing is that traffic is back. So whether you have kids or not, traffic is back. Everything's going to go back to normal. Oh well, that's life. But it's been amazing. We've been extremely busy, and Ian has been extremely busy as well in the past couple of days.
Yeah, very busy.
Yeah.
But it's good. It's all good.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Friday. Happy Friday, everyone.
Yes. That's a beautiful painting in the back.
Thank you.
For those of you who are just tuning in, Ian does painting on the weekends as a decompression. As a coping mechanism for having to work with me.
Yes, absolutely. No, it's my therapy me time.
Yeah, anyway, it's lovely, and it's
thank you.
When it's done, are you gonna sell it?
I don't know. Yeah, does anyone need a commission? Just give me a shout out. I'll be happy to do something.
Oh yeah, but she doesn't.
I can't do everything.
Nice
you take what I give you.
Good morning for those of you who just joined us. My name is Adrian, and I'm the CEO and founder of Career Strategist International. And Yen's my co-founder and executive director, and she is a super coach.
Well, thank you. Good morning, everyone. So happy to be here.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this week's topic.
Yeah,
it's gonna be fun.
Complex career conundrums.
I like that word. What's with all the alliteration?
Yeah, I know. I was quite bored yesterday, and I have a confession to make. I've given up on ChatGPT, so not that I've been using ChatGPT much in the past couple of months, but I was waxing lyrical over ChatGPT and everything, but I realized that ChatGPT is getting a bit crazy now.
It's limited, I think, in its ability to help, depending on what people feed.
It's crazy. It's telling lies. You ask it for information, it doesn't know the answer. It makes up the answers. I tried solving. I tried using it to solve a mathematical. Tried solving a mathematical problem with ChatGPT 2 nights ago with my daughter, and it was spewing up rubbish.
Oh no!
3 different answers, 3 different, and even though the second answer was correct, I said, "Are you sure?" And it was like,
"Hang on, okay, wait." Yeah, wait. ChatGPT is not meant for math, and I think there are other AI tools out there.
I think so too.
Specifically
but
for that.
But if you are using ChatGPT for your career, for your job information, double, triple check. There was a lawyer in the US that got into trouble because he used ChatGPT to pull up case files and case histories, right? It was making stuff up on the go. So.
It's funny. Wait, how did we get on this topic? Is it because of the career conundrums?
Yes.
Did you go into ChatGPT to get solutions for career conundrums?
No, I was coming up with. You're talking about alliterations and complex career conundrums, and it's something it's Adrian. It's Adrian GPT generated, so it's
right. Gee, I thought it was me. Thank you for taking all the glory.
Of course.
It's funny. It's fine. It is good. And a lot of these career conundrums are quite common, and that's why we wanted to work on them today with our listeners. So if you are having a similar issue, and you can relate to some of these stories, then it'll be worthwhile listening in to see how I know, guess how we would handle it. We think that should be fun.
And I would like to, for those of us listening in, I see Deborah, I see Merlin, I see Eric, and a whole usual bunch
Good
of
morning.
listeners. Good morning to all of you. Today we're going to put you in the driver's seat, okay, of the coach, career coach driver's seat. And what would you do as a coach or to advise these individuals? By the way, these stories are real. Okay, yeah, we've modified, and of course the names are modified definitely. And some other bits of information have been changed because no confidentiality. We can't tell everyone everything, right? But these are real situations. Some are juicy, some are really difficult, some are a bit more straightforward. So
And they're very common. So
Yeah.
it's not one specific individual. I think we've had more than a few who would have similar, I guess, experiences.
Yeah, so please jump into the comment section and type in what do you think you should do. Okay, so without further ado, let's pop into the first question. And the first one is
Yes.
this. Let me read. I'm 35, a male, a guy, okay, a BD manager with one kid along the way. I think it's a first child probably. I'm feeling stagnated in my job. 7 years,
Could be kid number 7.
Okay, possible.
Sorry. Okay.
And I need more money when my kid comes. Should I quit to find a better paying job? Should I quit to find a better paying job because because John over here feels that he's not being paid enough on his current role?
Yeah. In fact, I think this is very common. A lot of people would probably have the same want. Like, should I quit to get a better paying job, regardless of whether or not it's for the children or for a bigger home or for a luxury item or for a wedding? I think quite a few people want to have a good holiday, or maybe they want to pay for something that is significant in cost, like a heart bypass. So for someone else, like a parent.
Insurance for that. No, but
Yeah.
But the question is this. For John over here, his question is about money, just purely about
Yes.
money. And I don't disagree with him because kids are expensive now. Like, I
Oh,
forget
man.
our own kids are grown up already. It's like yours and mine. They're all like. I remember there's a point in time when infant formula was so expensive. I can
You've only got 2. For my 3, I remember the infant formula being very expensive, but I also remember the pediatric visits being very expensive. Each visit was like $300 just for the consultation, and then another 200 odd bucks for whatever medication. I don't know what kind of branded medication, but I remember having to get the inhalers and the breathalyzers.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? And Pampers not cheap, diapers are not cheap, everything's not cheap. And you go to kindergarten and everything's not cheap. So would you advise John to, if he feels it's not being sufficiently paid now, to quit and look for a job that's a higher paying salary?
I would love to hear from our listeners. The thing about feeling stagnated is 1, and then the needing the money is 2. So my question to him is really, which one is it?
Maybe it's both. I think
there's something else going
on. Or
on.
it could be something else as well. So typically for our listeners today, when clients come to us with a situation like this, okay, as career strategists, Yen and I will actually sit down with the individual to dig out deeper, because Yen is correct. These could be symptoms of something bigger.
Yep.
Okay? Like if you go to a doctor and say, I got a pain here, I got a pain there, but it's may not be the cause of the issue. It could be something bigger, more menacing. Okay, or it could be just a trigger, something that you maybe strain your back or whatever it is. So it's a situation where it requires a deeper dive. But I want to jump up. Let me see. So hi, good morning, Dan. How are you? Okay, no one thinks they're overpaid. If he's feeling stagnated, it might be good to speak to his manager and have an open conversation about it.
Actually, that's true. Very few people have ever come to me going like, Yan, I think I've been overpaid. I feel guilty about it. What? No. Well, I cannot remember ever speaking to anyone who thinks they're overpaid for the job.
That's true. That's true. But I think what's really interesting, because Deb has also been listening to us for the past 3 years, so she's very well trained already. But have an open conversation with the boss. I think that's important, especially if you're feeling stagnated. But one thing I'm always worried about again is this: if you tell your boss, "I'm feeling stagnated," and the first thing he's gonna think is, "Okay, I'm gonna give you more work."
Yes, right, and it's
Does
going to
it
be
help
more
or
of
does it hurt
the
you?
more of the type of work that doesn't help you grow as an individual.
Yeah.
In fact, it
Oh,
just
you take
gives you
over.
more stress.
Yeah, you take over your colleague's work, lah. Then it's sad, but it's true, and it happened. So how do you handle that?
It's Oh wait, there's another comment, and this one I agree. And Eric is absolutely right. Never
Eric, good
quit before.
morning.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this individual here for John saying that should I quit to look for a better job? No, I think Eric's correct. Never quit before looking for another job unless you've been abused. So don't quit to find another job. You find another job, then you quit. But you should get because if it's money, it's a cash flow issue. So it's something that really needs very good looking at. But and Eric brings up a very interesting point. Is the stagnation the job or yourself?
Yes. And also, I think he's absolutely right, because quitting is the last resort. Again, in 99% of the cases, if you're unhappy with something, quitting is the last resort. So you would want to try all sorts of other avenues first, having an open conversation with your leader, maybe other leaders, to find out if there's movement in other departments. You want to look for multiple alternatives before you hit the nuclear button. I mean, you've had 7 years there. It is an indication that you at least know the people, you understand the systems, you have an insight to the operations. Don't waste that knowledge, right? It's not there. Just don't leave and then having to start from scratch. It's kind of nuclear unless you have something like conflict or something. If there's going to be a bad issue and you're running away from it, that's fine.
And I think
yes.
there's a difference between feeling stagnated and feeling bored. So sometimes if you're bored because if your work comes in cycles, then this is the downtime, down month. So you can now look forward to the next. Maybe you don't want to look forward to the next up cycle for it. But, in the US, there are actually factory workers who get so bored that they break their own machines just to be able to fix them up.
Yeah.
So the other break your own machines, okay, or give trouble to yourself, like mix up the PO purchase order numbers just to give your client some fun to work with. No, don't do that. Okay.
That's terrible. I have met other individuals where the man was feeling stagnated only because his spouse was accelerating, and there was this subtle comparison that was happening. So they're thinking, okay, wait, hang on, my wife got promoted and she got promoted again, and she's traveling a lot more now. Let's put the baby obligation aside for a bit, right? And then sometimes that stagnation comes from a feeling of inadequacy, or just like that story where your client had a reunion, and then he met all his schoolmates, and they're all high flyers, and he's feeling like something's not quite enough. So yes, I think some deep reflection, followed by some career clarity. And then you can be very rational about making those steps, whether or not you decide to quit, or at least you have an idea of what's next, what would make more sense, because you might get a better paying job, but it's like quadruple the stress.
Yes.
I mean, it's not quite worth it, is it? Or the people are super toxic, and the reason why they pay so well is because the environment is super toxic, and they cannot hire people unless they pay them an arm and a leg, right? So
and we've seen that happens many times. So
yes,
if you're in a situation like this, if you're feeling frustrated, you come talk to us, drop us a line at info@careeragility.org. I'm always happy to help. But a lot of times it's about a perspective, and if you don't have a different perspective, or if you're feeling frustrated, anything looks good to you and you hop over, which can be dangerous.
Yeah.
So moral of the story, come talk to us if you are in such a situation.
Moral of the story is to make careful, calculated decisions. Yeah.
And then come talk to us.
Yes. Make careful, calculated decisions to come talk to us.
Yes. And this one is really interesting because this came in quite recently.
Yes.
Yeah, I discovered that my colleague was sleeping with my boss, and she just got promoted over me. Should I
Holy
continue to
cow.
HR or should I resign? True story, hashtag true story. Okay, of course, sender's
Yeah.
name is fake, but
Yes.
there's so many elements at play here, isn't
Yep.
it? I mean,
This is very tricky. Again, given the 2 sentences that we only have, it's very hard for us to see the full picture. So my question is, how long has this been going on? Is this colleague who was promoted deserving and competent regardless of what happens on the personal front? Is because sometimes really the personal has to be compartmentalized, and if the person is competent and is deserving of that promotion, what they do on their
but
personal
then,
life.
the moment you are sleeping with the boss, even if you're competent, you're really good what you do, immediately it just gets thrown out the window already, isn't it?
Yeah, right. I don't know, the way you phrased it, right? Sleeping with the boss makes it sound kind of bad, but maybe it's a consensual relationship between 2 single people who happen to find
that's
each
why
other because they got no time to date.
Yeah, you don't. It's not this whole thing. You don't shit where you sleep. You see. So, you have to. That's a professional thing, but ultimately the question is this: should you complain to HR or should you resign? Is it something you can complain to HR about even?
I think if it's a larger organization, there should be a policy, and there should be an ombudsman of some sort, an area where you can have a quiet conversation about something you're not comfortable with. But the thing about certain smaller organizations, it can be very, very tricky because there's no guideline and no policy. But again, like we said earlier, resignation is the last resort. Like, don't just quit because you're unhappy. Because you go into the next organization, guess what? Maybe everyone there is sleeping with everyone else, and then you're unhappy again. So I think this is a question of values.
I think so.
But I'd like to hear what everyone else has to say, or if anyone has
I
ever.
want to hear what Deborah, who's the HR person, what's your point of view? And if you're HR people out there, can you complain about this, something like this? And even if you can complain, what's the end game? What's the goal? What you want to get him fired? True story. I actually know this person who quit a job because the boss. Similar situation happened, but the boss was married. Okay. And she quit on the basis of this boss has no integrity. I refuse to work with or for someone with no integrity. And if he can do that to his wife, he can do it to me. And this is her exact quote, and she quit. Okay. So it's a value. Once again, it's a value statement, a value judgment, whether or not you want to see. And I said, are you being a bit extreme? Are you being a bit sensitive about it? She says no, because I put this on par with cheating a client, or even worse than cheating a client, or doing something dishonest. So she was being a bit
rigid,
right?
Yeah.
But to each their own.
There's too much inflexibility there sometimes. Yeah.
And so it's a value judgment, but once again, you can complain to HR, but what can HR do about it? Or what will HR do anything about it? That's one issue. And should you resign? Once again, if you have a better job in hand, then by all means, you quit. But don't quit out of frustration. And it's gonna be problematic if you're not careful. It's not I don't think it's a make or break deal that unless she's been promoted and she's making life hell for you.
Right. So if it's almost like writing a drama serial, because I'm thinking about how very mean girls, so the person who's the most incompetent has been promoted because of personal relationships, and then that person who's been promoted is just like throwing work to everyone else while she sits back and paints her nails. And that can be a very unpleasant and untenable situation. So, but if the person that promoted is decent and that's okay, right, then the company benefits and everyone gets promoted, they all get good bonuses. But if the person that was promoted is really nasty, that's a different story.
That's true.
Let's see the comments from Deb.
Yeah, so and anyone else who would like to pop in, comment, you can comment anonymously as well. Usually in bigger organizations, there are avenues for employees to raise these kind of issues. I would recommend him raising with HR because it might be a bigger issue later on, affect the company's name. You know. But I think if you want to do that, you have to be mindful of whether or not it's you have to have proof and everything.
You need proof, yeah. It's also about the brand name of the company. That's true. We have to consider whether or not it's going to impact the organization's integrity and branding and reputation. Yeah,
It matters.
absolutely.
It matters,
Yeah. Because I think pushing this exact issue further a little bit, a lot of organizations now even limit the amount of gifts in terms of its value to make sure that the people who receive those gifts it's not overly expensive, and then there are very, very strict guidelines on what they can and cannot do when it comes to expenses. So yes, a slippery slope, isn't it?
It is. So once again, there's so many variables involved. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a value judgment to you whether or not you think that it's going to affect you.
It's something that it's something that you can live with or not. Yeah.
But once again, it's all about control. When you have control over your career, if you find you're uncomfortable in it or you think it's not a fair environment to be in, you have control. You can look for something else. Okay. We are not victims. Okay, we can control, and if you feel that you cannot control, go talk to someone. Talk to your HR, talk to your mentor, come talk to us even. Okay, so I think that's really important. So, and this type of things happen quite regularly.
But I think you shouldn't complain. You should have a very mature, professional tone.
I complain to HR. I complain.
Just the word complain sounds like some kid coming to you and said that kid didn't want to give me the swing. It's my turn.
Yeah. So next question. Okay. Thanks for it. Interesting comment from them as well. Now, if the promotion is legit, then at least the process should be relooked at and shown that it was a fair process. But I hate to say, as I said earlier, the moment you shenanigans go out like that in the back, it doesn't matter. The moment there's some sneeze going on in the back, straight away the mind goes there. Like, oh, shit.
The individual's reputation is already questionable, so that makes things a little bit tough. Yeah.
But you made a valid point as well, no? If both are consenting adults and both are not married, it's a valid judgment, right? But if otherwise, then you have different issues at hand. Okay, but today we're not going to talk about that. So too many variables. Come talk to us if you're in a situation like this. And this one is particularly true.
Yeah,
I've seen this happen to one of my clients. And I said, okay, I've been working at a European company for 12 years, and I was supposed to be promoted to the GM role. But the 21-year-old grandson of the founder just parachuted into the role, and he has no Asian experience at all. What should I do?
This is nasty, isn't it? There are so many individuals I've spoken to who have been leapfrogged over by someone else who is less suited, less deserving, only because they are connected to the founders, or they're connected to HQ, or they're connected to someone important, and they are gifted the position of running, say, the division, or they're gifted the position of running the whole of Asia. And that's happened to a good friend as well. So this person was supposed to be promoted, but they decided to put a European person in charge of all of Asia, and his only Asia experience was 2 holidays over the last 5 years.
But that's one thing about that has a certain degree of illegitimacy. Okay.
Yes.
But the other situation I know of is the founder's grandson actually was like this situation basically, which I'm reiterating. The grandson had the same family name as the company name, so he just graduated from university. So it's a bit of background to what this real story, because I know how it ended up. Yeah, okay. So the exactly as the story says, the grandson had no experience in Asia, and my client the GM wanted, the guy who's supposed to be GM, wanted to resign. He said it's not fair. But I told him, don't. Just observe. Okay? Just hang around, just observe. Be the guy's mentor. because he's never been in Asia. You bring him around, show him all your clients and everything, and be his best friend, teach him about Asia. Okay, we say, no, but this guy is not qualified. No, I said, no, but the very fact that you're bringing this guy across, okay, he's going to appreciate it. So what he did was that he brought the guy around, and true enough, it was an Asia experience for him only. So he was there for about 14 months in Asia. And what happened was that after 14 months in Asia, my client brought him around and everything, right? He went back to Europe because he didn't quite like Asia after all. But he went back to Europe, but because he was the grandson of the company, and it was a really big company, you know. This is a European tools equipment manufacturing company. He went back. He took a very high C-level position because of his name, and he appointed this guy, my client, as the GM for Asia.
For APAC, yeah.
For APAC. Because you really know your stuff, you showed me around, you took care of me when I was there. So instead of banging head on against this guy, I said, no, you go and talk to him and be his best friend, be his guide, be his mentor. Amazing. He got it, and he's still there.
If you can't beat them, join them.
Yeah. So it's so this is interesting from a strategic standpoint. You know, instead of fighting and beating. But this is very unique to this current situation because most of the time it's someone else that's not from Singapore being parachuted in to do the job, and you see that happening a lot. I just spoke to a client yesterday who was quite upset because her entire division was retrenched, and they brought in talent from Hong Kong, expatriated these people in to do the job of the division that was retrenched. And it was like, what? Seriously? Why was it in the first place? So whatever reasons are, but such things happen. And what can you do about it? What can you do about it? You're going to be strategic.
So there's a comment?
Yeah. Pop in. Okay. I personally think that, okay, let me get this out first. Okay, I want to see your face here. I personally think that if someone parachuted into a role due to connection with top management or founder, it's pointless for you to fight it anymore. Move on, you deserve better. To a certain point, especially the guy wants to stay.
But move on only if you have something better. Yeah. Because if it's not, then it's going to be the same challenges in the next pond, whether you like it or not. I think all jobs are the same. I think they all have similar issues. I think it's best to figure out rationally what levers you have and what advantages you have for staying or leaving. And you're right. I mean, it doesn't just have to be someone from HQ. It could be a new manager that was just promoted to be in charge of you, or sometimes it's an integration of a divisions. Some organizations like to consolidate two business units together, and then suddenly you have a new boss. It's the same sort of issue, the same sort of undercurrents. How do you build an alliance with your new leader? How do you ensure that there's some positive affiliation? And don't fight it. You've got to figure out how to work with the colonial powers.
Your masters up in headquarters. But if a company really does that, it does not value local talents, then I think Jason's right. Maybe it's time to move on to a company that does. And it's just their loss.
But leave only after you have found something and you're sure about it, and it's managed risk. And manage your risks. Absolutely.
I've seen companies with where the decision making is not done in Asia. Okay, it's very Europe centric. So I once, when I was hunting, I once had this case where the similar situation to this. Okay, the APAC head in Singapore, to be he was not really there yet. Okay, he had to be. He was supposed to take on the APAC head role, but the MNC client decided to parachute one of their guys into Asia, right? But this guy wanted to be based on all places in Jakarta. I have no idea why. He wanted to go to Jakarta.
Because he's got his second family there.
No, he's never been there before. But he decided he wanted to go to Jakarta because he said there's a market that hasn't been opened yet, and I want to open it up. I want to get in.
Right. Okay.
And Jakarta is not a starter country for first timers in Asia.
Yeah.
And this was back in
Something else is going on. No.
Something was going on. So anyway, the guy came in, and within 9 months he left because it's not a start. So sometimes decision
Not easy.
making. My point is this:
Yeah.
decision making sometimes is not done in the Asia level, and for as long as you're with a multinational company, you have to toe the party line because the goal makes the rules. Right?
Yep.
So you just have to live with it. But it's painful if it does happen to you. But there are ways around it apart from quitting. Okay?
Yes.
Sometimes just a bit of fighting chance.
And there's another comment from Deborah.
Yeah.
It's true. The situation is quite common, and you have to figure out what would work with your new leaders. And in the meantime, you always have a backup plan and a backup to your backup plan. But if you have a career strategy in hand, it helps you to stay really agile as well. Because if you're well connected to your network, and if something doesn't quite work in your favor, you can see the train wreck coming. It enables you to kind of hop very quickly into your backup plan so that you can land neatly again, with a double twirl and a twist. And continue with your career, right? I mean, that's what we've been espousing this whole time. It's about agility. It's about seeing something not go quite right, seeing the trends and reading the weather patterns, so that you can build your shelters and make decisions on which pasture is better for you. Yeah.
Being wise about it. So once again, everything falls back to a career strategy. And are you career agile enough to cope and manage changes?
Yeah.
So
let's go for the next one.
Yeah, for those of you who just joined us, once again, my name is Adrian, and I'm the CEO founder of Career Agility International, and yet my co-founder. And together, we help individuals and executives like yourself to navigate tricky career situations like this. Or if you're just at a career crossroad, or if you're facing a painful career conundrum, together, Yen and I have more than 40 plus years of career coaching and executive search experience that we can bring to bear to help you with your situation. Okay, so these case studies that come up are true stories that have happened before. And this question is something that I was just very recently asked to. Okay, dear Adrian and Yen, I'm doing very well in my job, but I'm itching for something exciting. I'm thinking of starting my own business. Should I make the jump? Jane.
Answer is yes.
Really?
Yeah, try lah. Okay, well, there's always more than meets the eye, but I'd like to hear what other people have to say.
More than meets the eye.
So the person is doing well, and if things are going smoothly and you want to start something, I don't see why you shouldn't. Why can't you have your cake and eat it too?
Yeah.
It's not mutually exclusive.
I kind of agree with you on that point where why not? Okay, but it's a matter of scale, right? I mean, don't quit your job and start up the ice cream stand.
or a bubble tea shop.
Yeah.
Or what's the latest trend with that coconut drink?
Mr. Coconut varieties.
It's all over the place now, and I think it's okay. And I don't actually. This is quite common. And Eric says a side gig is always good. Yeah. But if this person is thinking about completely quitting and starting something new, there are a lot of people who maybe are thinking they cannot do two things at the same time. Then yes, come talk to us and we'll give you some, I guess, a bouncing blackboard, soundboard ideas on whether or not your business, whether your business idea is going to be, it sounds tenable or not. I mean, if you've done a business plan, you've done your mathematics and the sums, and it looks doable, I say go for it, because we only live once.
Yeah, but I want to play devil's advocate here, okay? And this is coming from someone who started businesses and failed along the way.
Yes.
Before coming into this very successful career agility business that we are both running. Sometimes when a client comes to us with, I want to start a business, It's actually a symptom of someone who's frustrated with his job, frustrated with his career direction, and is out of options. He or she does not know what to do next. And the lowest
Yep.
hanging fruit is out to more business. But it
Yep.
may not be, it's just a symptom. It could be boredom, it could be I want something more exciting, it could be I hate my job, I hate corporate life. I hate this industry. But it may not be the case if you pivot to another industry. So the itch that you feel to start a new business, okay, especially if the business is an airy-fairy one, I want to provide cushions to people in the office who sit down for too long, kind of thing. Something that's totally, absolutely left out of left field kind of thing. Could work, could not work, but you haven't really thought it through.
Yeah.
Be careful about it, okay? It could be symptomatic of something deeper, which we need to sit down and do, especially if you've not run a business before, okay? And
Yep.
and you think that it's so glam. Mark
No, it's
Cuban,
not.
Mark Cuban, my favorite Shark Tank investor, he says that there are entrepreneurs and there are entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs are people who just want to start a business. They got no idea what to do. What's a good business idea to run with? They just want to start, so they quit a job and say, what can I do? Oh, maybe a bakery. If you're an entrepreneur, it's very dangerous. Okay,
Yep.
have the business idea and run it.
Okay. Are you done nagging, Adrian?
If you had to reset your career and do a business, what would it be?
I never really wanted to run something, but in my time, I've seen lots and lots of individuals who have had that itch, and I put it in inverted commas, and the itch to start something, and then my response would be, what is it? What does it look like? And they'll go, I don't know. I'll know it when I see it. Those are not destined for actual. The business ideas may or may not take off. I mean, unlikely to take off. But those that already have an entrepreneurial DNA would have started something without waiting for the timing to be right. So I think being an entrepreneur requires a very different sort of DNA and a mindset and all that. Something that, you have to be, I think you've got to work harder than normal if you want to run something on your own. So no, I can't answer that question, Adrian, on what would I do if I had to reset. But because I've always been really focused on what I wanted to do, and I just pursued that, and then that was fine.
So if AI and ChatGPT could create superb career coaches better than us, and I was asked to pivot to another role. I've done it before. I will be a plumber. I'll clear people's choked toilet for like.
I don't know if you're physically able to do that for long, because you can't even squat down for too long before you start aching.
Yeah, I know.
And to our dear listeners out there, every time if I happen to be in the office, I'm the one unlocking the door because Adrian cannot squat.
The key, I can squat because the key's right at the bottom of this stupid door in our office. Okay?
Of the door, yes, it's at the bottom of the door.
I can squat, no problem. It's the getting up that's the problem.
I hear you.
The squatting is not the problem. It's the getting up without screaming. Okay. So that's the challenge.
But anyway, back to this conundrum. I think if you are feeling that you want to start something, set your mind to be a little bit more careful and calculated as to the who, what, where, why, when, how long, how much, and how many. Seriously. So make a decision and don't just follow the breeze. And more importantly, don't get caught by scammers who are selling you a pipe dream. And a lot of our clients sometimes come to us and say, there's this person who wants me to be a founder with him. And I'm like, really? Why, who, what, how long, what's going on? And then just digging a little bit, you go like, too many red flags. So they're kind of pulling everybody together. Oh, I'm going to start a bar and I'm getting like 6 partners together. I'm raising up to $100,000. Each person's buy-in is about, $20,000. And I'm like, really? I don't know. It's a bit sketchy. And if you have zero idea how to run an alcohol business and distribution networks and how a bar functions, don't go in if you have no knowledge.
Agree. Absolutely agree. Come talk to us, okay? Come talk to us. Now, this is the last question I have here.
Okay.
Dear Adrian and Jen, I hate my boss. I hate my role. I hate my job. I hate my company. I hate my colleagues. if this sounds like you, okay, really come talk to us, please. Okay, I felt this way about my previous 2 jobs as well. Should I quit, Mike? And this is someone who we met, okay, quite recently, and this was a true story. Ian, your thoughts? Be kind.
Yeah, I dig down deeply as to what aspect of the boss you don't like, what aspects. Let's forget the boss for a minute, but the boss is very important. No matter how crappy your role, sometimes if you have a good leader, things are okay. In my book, it's always when, who do you work with, it kind of makes life worth living. But I'd like to dig down a little bit more, drill further into what aspects of the job scope is annoying or irritable. The company and the colleagues are probably auxiliary for now. Let's focus again on the role and the people, the direct report, the direct superior. And then I want to know, like, what's really happening with your previous 2 jobs? And again, I'm trying to be kind here, but are we seeing a pattern?
Yeah.
And what's the common denominator here?
It's you. It's you. And sometimes
Maybe you're in the wrong industry.
Maybe you're in the wrong industry. Maybe you're in the wrong role. Maybe because someone someone told you that, hey, maybe you're good at this, and then you listen to them and you went in, but it's not the industry for you. It's not the role for you. Could be so many things wrong, but
Yeah.
especially if the previous 2 jobs you're in that kind of painful situation, I think you need to do a very deep dive.
I got to tell you a story. When I was headhunting, it's rare for me to find an individual that's unplaceable. But once in a while, you meet people who are literally unplaceable, meaning that I will not put this person forward to any of my hiring clients because that would just make me look bad. Generally, there's always a job for everyone. This person was unplaceable because it was one of those where you look at the resume, the person's had 15 jobs in 8 years or something like that. I'm being a bit extreme, but the person has job A for 18 months, job B for 6 months, job C for 8 months, job D for 24 months, job E for another, managed to stay for 2.5 years. So about 28 months. And then the next job was another 6 months. So you go like, hang on, the person's like 45, 49 and has had, say, 10 jobs. And I asked, what happened between job, what happened? The company asked me to do something I didn't agree with, so I quit. And then what happened? This was a contract opportunity. And then what about this other one? After 8 months, the company got eaten. And then there was an excuse for every move, to the point that the person, it's like, I'm sorry, I can't help you. It looks like, as what Deborah said, unlucky in inverted commas. Yeah. So my question to this individual, Mike, is there something else that's going on? And I would look and see whether or not Mike has managed to stay in any of his jobs for longer than 4 or 5 years, to have some level of stability, to be able to deduce if there's something else going on, whether it's really him or he's really just unlucky.
And if you're really that unlucky, I think ultimately you need to sit down and pause and re-strategize. Something's not working. Something is not working. Okay, it could be you. It could be you're in the wrong industry. It could be something. And I like what Jason said. Maybe, and I'm going to share. Jason says this. Maybe you should be starting your own business instead. And I think maybe you're not cut off for the corporate world. Okay, maybe you do need to. Maybe this is a sign for you that you're not cut up for the corporate world. Okay, one of the reasons why for myself, why I started Career Agility International is because I just couldn't take the corporate world as well, and I'm having a time of my life right now, but it's not like what Ian said. It's not for everybody.
Yeah.
It's not for everybody.
So there's a comment for Deborah. Can you flash that up? That's really good.
Yes.
He needs to know what he wants, do some self-reflection, and see what will make him happy. Deborah, I think this person is one of those that I've met some of these as well, where they come along and go like, what we ask them, like, what do you want to do with your life? And they go, I just want to drink pina coladas by the beach. I don't want to work. And you can tell some of these people, they just don't want to work. So sometimes it's really hard for us to figure out what jobs would make him is he keen on, what's his area of interest, because a lot of these people sometimes don't want to work full stop.
And
But you're
it's
right.
okay if you're independently wealthy, if you have a surname that matches
The company founder,
yeah, that's
Hilton.
okay, yeah, Hilton, or Forbes or whatever it is, then it's fine, it's okay. No one's gonna blame you, it's okay. But chances are you're probably not, and if you're not, then you got to work, and you got to work, then you got to figure out where will you fit in the bigger nexus of things, and it's not straightforward, especially if you have been bruised like this. It's gonna look badly on you as well at the next job interview. So you need to figure out how to fix your narrative.
So our clients, we've helped them most of the time by finding that sweet spot where their interests meet their skills and values, but we also give them the skills to find that sweet spot, because we cannot gift you the jobs. Sometimes individuals are thinking that we're miracle workers and say, okay, this is my background, tell me what job suits me. Actually, I could, but I don't want to take that responsibility in case it doesn't go well. And frankly, you own your own career, right? Your direction, So we help you with your clarity. We help you with the methods to go identify, ideate. Once you've ideated, you find that you'll find that equilibrium, because a lot of our clients think in compartments, like it's either A or B. No, actually there are lots of jobs where you can combine a variety of skill sets, because the world is your oyster.
It's
it is, and it can happen, and I'm quite confident it can happen. We've helped lots and lots of people like Mike.
We help join the dots now. We see the big picture. Or sometimes you're just getting burnt out. So there could be many 1,001 reasons for it, but make sure you ask the right questions and hit the right. And that's where we always say that if you have any career questions, come visit our career clinic. Drop us an email at info@careeragility.org. We've been very busy because we've been getting lots of calls, booking our appointments and our one-on-one sessions with us. You don't have to get a full program with us. If we can solve your problem if you can solve your most pressing problems in just one Zoom call or one face-to-face meeting, then by all means just come talk to us, because we are really good at what we do.
I'm trying not to work so hard, Adrian.
I'm gonna make you work harder. But
thank you very much.
For us, it's not work. For us, it's a mission. Okay, we want to help people get better at their jobs. Because the moment you get better at your jobs, you worry less about your job. You
worry less about everything else.
More time with your family and all the good stuff. So it's not about the job; it's about your life. And if you can get the job questions out of the way, once you're feeling career secure, you can enjoy your other elements of your life, your family, your friends, your fish, whatever it is. Okay. So come talk to us, and especially with any career questions, just drop us an email, and we will be happy to see how we can help.
Drop us an email, info@careeragility.org. In the meantime, happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
Last weekend of the school holidays.
Yeah, last chance to make up for the neglect you've shown or your kids for the past 4 weeks. Like, what? Mid holidays over?
I think my son was just saying that they got a notification from the school to get haircuts done, and I know he's going to leave it to the very last minute to get his haircut.
Yeah, the last time you cut his hair was pretty good, so you should just try it. Save it's $14 now. Goodness,
no, we go to the $5 barber. I don't know where you're going, Adrian.
What $5 barber? You're going to recommend
$5 barber.
I wouldn't trust a $5 barber if I were you.
Well, he's just
it's like short-sighted with
no, $5 barber. I'm serious. $5 barber. I don't know where you're going, but I think you live in a high-class, fancy area. That's why. Anyway, happy Friday. Happy weekend.
Guys. Okay, take care, everybody.
Take care.
See ya.